What's up, guys? This is Dave from The Disorderly. We're joined once again by the illustrious Mr. Andrew Volpe.
So illustrious.
What?
So illustrious.
Very illustrious. We're waiting. We're just waiting for him to move to LA and join us out here
One day.
And because we just need another person, we need one more car.
I only have. I've got $4,995 more dollars I need to raise on my GoFundMe. But if you people keep contributing, you too can help me become one of the infamous LA people like Dave.
Yeah,
over here.
I think we need to get the Patreon going, and include our because Volpe and I we'll talk before we record, and we'll just bullshit about whatever, and we talked at length about 90 Day Fiance. So I think that is all solid Patreon content that we may be able to offer in the future. Keep an eye out for that.
I might actually become a 90 Day Fiance once I find a good cat lady who is willing to take me in somewhere in the LA area.
Ooh,
I'm willing to do terrible things, but I mean, it feels like a no-brainer, right? You said pretty much anyone can do it, right?
I feel like you could find some absolutely batty old crazy lady in like Truesdale, you know what I mean? And a smash cut to like a month later, you're in a Speedo in the pool, and I come in and I'm meeting Gladys for the first time, you know what I mean?
Her name is Mabel. Come on,
Mrs. Volpe.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'll probably take her name.
Bro, for some of the houses in Truesdale, you're gonna catch me out there on the hustle, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm not above being a cabana boy, so just ladies, if you're out there, I am desperate.
All right. Well, speaking of weird desperation, let's talk about The Boys. It's been the show's been out for what? If this seems weird, like you're like, you guys are just talking about this now? Yeah.
Well, we went the extra mile because we binged the show really quickly after it came out, and I thought we were going to do the episode, and then you had started reading the comic, right? And
yeah, I had the first omnibus, and we were just gonna record where I had read it but you had not. And I was just like, you know what, dude? I just can't do it. I need you to read this.
Yeah.
I'm so pissed about everyone just being like, I really like the show. I haven't read the comic, but this is great. You guys should watch it. And I'm losing my mind. I'm watching like the Red Letter Media guys. I'm watching, everyone and their mom is like, this is the greatest. Wow, so edgy. Ooh, look at this. Burp, burp. Like, and I'm just like, they murdered it, bro. They murdered this poor thing. You know what I mean? It's just beaten to death. It's like a bearskin rug being a bear. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, it was a bear once. Like, it's part of a bear. It resembles a bear, but it's not a bear. You know what I mean? So I'm tired of, bring out Seth Rogen. If I find him, I lunch at the Ivy occasionally. You know what I mean? So if I ever find him, cool.
Them's fighting words.
I'm gonna give him the talking to of his lifetime.
Oh man,
you know what I mean?
that's
Evan
intense.
Goldberg. Who else we got? You know what I mean? I'm just tired of it. They're being ballyhooed around town. Oh wow, so edgy. Oh, you guys did Preacher. Now this, yeah, you fucked up Preacher too. You know what I mean?
Well,
so
yeah,
like, I'm tired of Rogen out of here.
Do you have the same gripes? Did you read Preacher too? Like, do you have the same gripes with this?
Same? Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess how many episodes of Preacher I've seen?
Two? I feel like no one's ever seen that show. I've never. I said I was going to wait on the show until I got around to reading more than the first 6 issues of the comic, and I still haven't gotten around to it. So, but the comic's awesome, and is the show really that bad or whatever? Or like,
no, just stop giving Rogan shows.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Future
Man?
Just
stop.
Future Man was okay.
Yeah, the first season. That wasn't was that an existing material, or did they just make that up?
They actually made that themselves.
Just do that then. God damn it! Just stop. Like, hey, Warren Ellis, what else can we fuck up for?
Well, isn't Garth Ennis like a producer or something? Well, he's probably just cashing the check if he wants to, but I think he has like some sort of involvement in both of the shows, right?
Yeah, but Garth is just sitting there chilling. You know what I mean? It's like. You know what I mean? What is he gonna do? He's like in a castle in Scotland somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's like also like
he's like, yeah, I needed another I need another spire on my castle. So
yeah,
I'll let you have I'll let Amazon have their damn show.
I need more kilts. all the kilts and
all
whiskey.
the kilts. Haggis, and I might buy. I need this valley, this crappy valley in Scotland. I need to buy this. So.
Well, man, damn! I didn't know. See, I'm really glad that you sent me the comic because I felt like
I sent him the damn comic by mail.
Yeah,
and I go, "Hey Ash, can you mail this to Volpe?" She goes, "Yeah, no problem." I go, "All right, well, like, you know." Give him like a 1 day, you know, not quite overnight, but like give him a little something.
Right,
you know what I mean? I'll pay like, I don't know, what is it, $10? It's a comic book. It's a, you know what I mean? It's like, it's not, you know, we're not shipping something crazy.
Right.
So she goes, oh yeah, no, I shipped it. And I go, well, when is he? She shipped it. I want to say a Sunday. I say, when is he going to get it? She said, I think it said next Saturday. I was like, you mean like a whole week? And then we checked it, and she says, oh, you know what? Actually, it's going to be Monday. So it took, 8-9 days to get to you before you could even start reading it. So in case you're wondering why this took forever, it's because of the goddamn United States Postal Service.
Yeah, I felt bad. I was like, going to be like, I should have just bought a fucking copy of it or something like that. But I appreciate you sending it, though.
Well, there you go. No, I'm just you know, we'll you know, I go to no end for the fans. You know.
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, the extra mile, and plus you're trying to give the USPS that business, and every time they let you down.
Oh God, I'm like, what? What do you mean 11 days? Like 9 days?
20 days.
It's not going to the North
get lost
Pole
twice at least.
It's going from Southern California to Washington D.C. and it took 8 days. Is it being sorted by elves? And then sent to hell, and then back. Like, whoa.
Well,
I don't understand.
The dude at
Someone
the
in the
post
comments,
office
if you work
had
at
to
the
read
post
it
office,
first
let me know.
too, and that takes him a while.
Oh,
so,
I bet.
They got a special rule for
bet.
comic books.
All right.
Well, in any case,
so
I'm glad that you sent it because it did give me a lot more context. Like if we had done it without me reading it, I was pretty surprised how different the comic was. But I'm not gonna lie, I'll just give you a little preview. I still wasn't totally swayed on, like, I am still on the show is pretty good bandwagon. But so, like, what's the biggest thing, like, comic to show? What's the thing that you miss the most? That, you know what I mean? Like, in the comic, what is the thing? Or is there one thing, or is it just kind of like overall, like a bunch of little things?
Oh, I got things.
I got a list.
Oh, I got things. But I mean, I think my number one thing, and I tell you, I hated this, is the show's weird, like, fake political, like, PR machine,
right?
That, like, surrounds them and, like, oh, she's scoring so well with 18
right.
to 30 Mexicans.
Yeah.
Like, the Latino vote is gonna love this and blah blah. I hated that. Oh,
the
God, I hated
annoying PR lady.
Oh my God, that redhead chick.
Yeah.
Who? What was she in?
She's
was she
in something. Like, she's a character actress. I just
was she in Gotham?
I've never seen an episode of Gotham.
Okay, well, no, exactly. She's kind of underwhelming. I want to say no, Gotham.
She was
Poison Ivy in Gotham was a child, right?
Yeah,
right,
I think
that wouldn't be it.
I assume
she looked very familiar to me somehow.
She's definitely popped
and
up
not
in some
a good
comedy
way, you know what I mean?
I've seen before at some point. I don't think she was bad, but I do agree that character, that type of character, the annoying PR lady, like
the whole
it's such
thing
a trope.
with I was so tired of you know, who was the kind of the head boss lady?
Oh, Robin Wright. I liked her.
Was that Robin Wright?
Robin.
No, it was Elizabeth Shue.
Elizabeth Shue. I'm sorry. I always get them confused.
God! I was like, I was like, who is this?
Yeah. But Elizabeth Shue, I thought was pretty good though.
No, I don't mind her, but like her entire character was so unnecessary to me.
Right. No,
I hated the whole dynamic of her and the baby and her and this and the wrangling. I mean, because the comic, the story is about Butcher and Baby Huey and Wee Huey, whatever you want to call them, and the boys. God damn it! And the show is really not.
Yeah, the show is more about the superheroes, and honestly, that's the thing. Like, when I started watching the show the first time, like, that was my kind of end take, was I liked the show, but I found the superhero stuff more interesting than the boys themselves. It seems like aside from Huey getting changed, like they changed Huey a lot. He seems like the one that
they ruined him. Ruined him.
I mean,
imagine a young what's his name from Star Trek, and he was in the damn show.
What's his fucking name? I keep on Simon Pegg.
Yes, a young Simon Pegg is the character in the comic book. He's Huey.
Yeah,
a young Simon Pegg. They literally drew Simon Pegg. He's Scottish. He's just kind of a smartass. He's kind of a weirdo. Like he's into weird sort of conspiracy theories. And then the show version is just like kind of a pathetic, loser, lonely, puss. And I don't know, man. I was like, what are we doing?
Yeah. So that I was kind of wondering about. It was funny because once again, having no knowledge of the comic when I was first watching the show. I didn't have that many gripes with the show, but one of the main ones was I was like, why did you cast Simon Pegg in such a tiny role as an American in the show? Like, I found Simon Pegg being in it like a huge distraction until I found out that it was like an homage to the comic and everything.
Yeah.
But it also, like, I don't know. It's a good idea, but something about it still didn't quite sit right with me. Like, it did always kind of feel like his scenes were a little tacked on, and just by the fact that it's Simon Pegg, it immediately took me out of whatever was going on.
Yeah, well, he's an invented character. He's not in the comics, I don't think.
Yeah.
I can't remember Huey's dad.
No, at least in that first omnibus you gave us, there was definitely no parents mentioned or anything like that.
No.
But, I mean, and it was cool, like I understand they were trying to get the background of, like, how much these superheroes are revered. And my thing was, I think it was a good idea on their part. Like, there was like some effort to make, I don't know, Huey a little bit more like likable. Like, I feel like you could get, like Simon Pegg could pull off the type of character that is in the comic. Like just the weird conspiracy theory kind of nerdy guy, but he's a sweetheart. But like very few people, I think, aside from Simon Pegg, could pull that off. So I feel like if they figured they were going to have to change this character anyways, then, well, let's make him American so we don't have to jump through hoops and explain why isn't, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that was
because they could have done Ewan McGregor in Train Spotting, like a young Renton, and just done that. I think that would have been.
But
fine.
Who would play him?
Not Ewan McGregor, but someone. There's Scots out there.
Yeah, there's got to be someone. But I feel like, well, that's true. I guess they didn't really get a name for playing Huey or something like that.
No, it's like Dennis Quaid's son or something, right?
Oh, well, okay, so the other thing, is it really Dennis Quaid's son? Because I was wondering.
I think so.
Yeah,
Jack Quaid.
He looks kind of like him.
Yeah, he's done little things, like he was like a kid in like 21 Jump Street.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been in stuff.
Yeah, if he is, he definitely has his dad's face, and if he's not, then that's like a good coincidence.
He is the son of Meg Ryan and Dennis Quaid.
Wow.
So I'm glad he caught a lucky break and was able to land a role.
Well, that's the way these things always go. But I okay, so even then, if you're trying to make this, this is probably going to be a show more geared, like, it'll be a big hit internationally though, but they're still probably gearing it first and foremost to American audiences. And since you already got Carl Urban being badass Brit guy, I feel like they would be like, you can't have two Brits or Brit and the Scottish guy be your two leads. Like I
it was so crazy to me. Did you like his performance or not?
Carl Urban? I liked him.
I felt like I'm watching the English version of Crocodile Dundee. You know what I mean?
Well, that's kind of like...
that's a North. That's what I'm watching. I'm watching like the most insane cartoonish version. Like they told him, like, give me an 11.
Yeah. I mean...
You know what I mean?
I kind of pictured it as like him with his Judge Dredd mask off and... yeah, if he turned out to be Cockney or something like that. It was, like, kind of cartoonish, but, I mean, the character is kind of cartoonish, though. Like, he's written as, like...
I feel like he's so much more clever in the book, though, because they kind of just throw weird screwball kind of
Yeah.
little bits of writing and stuff.
Yeah, like the screwball stuff is great, and I think that's the big difference. Is like the comic is almost more like South Park or something like that. Like the thing that got me thinking is there's like that one several issue plot in the comic where it's like the guy who's Tech Knight, who's basically Batman.
Oh, yeah.
And how he suddenly he's talking to a shrink because he can't stop fucking things. Like he literally just has sex with inanimate objects and who knows what else.
All right. And then the show they kind of go ahead.
Oh well, did they even have anything like that in the show?
So what they did was they had the Deep, which the Deep in the comic is really, I guess he's like Aquaman, right? He's supposed to be, and he was very much more like Aquaman, I think, in the show.
He's like wearing one of those like iron lung things.
He's wearing like he's wearing like a 1940s diving outfit in the like who would choose this as their costume?
Right.
Which makes it all the more ridiculous. And so he in the show he goes to therapy, right, for the dolphin love or something, right?
Right.
Isn't that what like he's so that's how they kind of they kind of wanted to like steal some of the gags from the comic, but
I didn't even pick up on that, but you're totally right.
Wow. So they and then they really expanded kind of that whole group of stuff, that the show group of superheroes. Like Starlight in the comic is a nothing. She's in there for, I want to say, she's there just to
be like
just to
assaulted.
show you how horrible they really are.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, and that's another thing. Like, liked it in the comic, but if I was making a show out of it, I'd be like, like it. She feels a little bit more like a human being in the show. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like she's more of a, like, I don't know. But they probably develop her later on in issues and everything like that. But it was like much less like it's much more focused on all the terrible things that are happening to her in the comic and everything like
right. Yeah, no, I mean they kind of like, this is the woke version of this, right? Because in the comic she basically has to perform oral sex on 3 of the superheroes, and in order to join them. So it's like Black Noir, the Deep,
and then
Homelander. Yeah, and Homelander is like the head, of the whole thing. He basically says, "You got one more test," and then she turns around and all their pants are down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in the show, she just basically does it with the Deep, right?
The Deep, and it's like one of those things. Like it feels very Weinstein-y. It's like she turns around and he's got it whipped out and everything.
Right, and so they kind of do the whole thing where he apologizes. They do all the whole PR. He's punished and banished and sent away, and she's like, a hero. And I mean, in the comics, she's not really a character whatsoever. She's really just like a tool to kind of show you how bad these superheroes are, and she kind of represents like the American ideal. And once you get behind the curtain, you just kind of see that these superheroes are just horrible people. And and then you kind of can get on the side of the boys, where they're like, these are the worst living things on earth and they need to be destroyed. You know what I mean? So I think you can kind of immediately start to agree with the boys.
Right. I mean, but so in the show, were you not sold on that in the show, or was that not?
No, I mean, I think one of my the only scene that stuck out to me in the whole show that I kind of enjoyed was the plane crash scene.
The plane crash scene was, and so that you said that is in the comics, or is that? I thought I heard somebody say that.
I don't think so. And maybe it's later on, and I haven't read it, but I don't think it's in like the first giant chunks of. Not in that manner. I think I would have remembered it. I don't remember.
I think somebody told me, because I told somebody I was reading the comics, and they had mentioned, and once again, hearing the secondhand, so apologies if I get anything wrong, but I think it's similar to what happens in the show, but apparently it's like their 9/11, which would track, because in the first issue of the comics I noticed that the skyline still has the Twin Towers in it, so it's even more fucked up, and something that I didn't think could get any more fucked up. But the way it's handled in the show, that's like definitely like the darkest, and like I know that they probably softened a lot of the stuff in the comics, but I was still impressed that they were able to do that. That's like pretty fucking dark. And Homelander, I thought, like, did you like Homelander at all, or is he like?
Not really. I mean, he's kind of the Superman kind of, it just, I don't know. I think the whole weird story of, and that's why the show is loosely based on a concept of the comic. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because the plots are very different. Like they're, the show is about, a larger issue of, the superheroes in the military and the drugs, and the show is much less. I mean, they go on entire whole things that I don't think are in the book, right?
Oh,
I mean,
the whole. I mean,
so
a lot of the corporate espionage, like the impression I got from the comics is it's a lot more like, let's blackmail superheroes, and that is kind of the fun of the comics. It seems like it's just like, we're using smarts and just these own people's vices against them, and there's still a lot of that in the show, but yeah, there's a lot more stuff about like it's a lot more like satirizing of these like big corporations and stuff like that, and I don't know, like culture in general, and some of it I think works, and then some of it is just like knocking you way too hard on the head. I thought when the Deep goes to, what is it, like Ohio or something like that, when he gets
banished to Ohio.
Yeah, I thought that was funny at first, and then it felt like they ran out of stuff for him to do like 4 episodes before, which I guess is part of the joke, but it like when they kept on cutting back to him, like I kept on like just wanted to see them either kill him and give him his comeuppance or something, but it like I like seeing the Deep suffer, like, it's good seeing him get his comeuppance, but I feel like you're driving it home the first time, and every other part after that starts to get a little repetitive and feel a little bit like filler to me or whatever. Like it sounded like I'm sure they'll kill him off in season 2 or 3 or something like that. That was one thing I kind of almost wished for, is like I had a little bit more bloodlust for seeing more heroes go down after Translucent gets exploded, and he's like really the only one, right, that actually gets killed. I'm trying to think if Popclaw.
Did A-Train?
Well, so
Popclaw got killed. Yeah.
But A-Train killed her, and I'm pretty sure A-Train survived. Like, didn't they do something to save him at the end? Like Huey save him. Like he could have let him die, and
yeah, his heart stopped or something.
Yeah, so like I'm sure they're keeping him around for a while too. You can kind of see like the trajectory of the show a little bit. Like
I don't know. It just deals with the weirdness of the whole, creating superheroes and the drugs, and I was just like, I don't know.
Oh, and Compound B is like totally different in the show. It's like, like that's like one of the things in the comic that is kind of interesting. Like that they actually have something that will give them strength akin to a superhero. Like, yeah, that kind of makes more sense in terms of a lot of the stuff that they're able to do in the comic. I don't know if I'd want to see it as much in the show, just because it's like, I do like the whole aspect that it's, and the comic still is like it too, but like how it's more focused on the planning and the takedowns and everything like that than just a straight up brawl or whatever.
Yeah, it's much more episodic because they go into, I mean, it's I don't know, what was it, 3 to 4 little issue runs of, solving this one guy's murder, you know what I mean? Or the Russian, crime boss, or, you know what I mean? Like, they do small little adventures that, I think they could have made into, episode or 2, and then they just do weird stuff that's like, let's explore, like, the female's origins, like,
Oh,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
I just was like, oh, I don't need this.
Yeah.
Like, just
Yeah, that's the thing is like,
the.
oh, sorry.
No. I just that like, the love story of
The love story was,
you
a
know.
little
I'm
bit,
like, come on, man.
yeah, the love story felt a little like that was another thing from the first episode. All the Simon Pegg stuff aside, like the other major gripe I had, and it's the way it is in the comics, kind of, and I think it's like supposed to be a shout out to the comics, and I think they also did it just to kind of keep the story moving, but the meet cute between Starlight and Huey on the park bench where she's on the phone with her mom, planning on telling her that she got sexually assaulted and decided not to, and Huey's just some stranger sitting on the bench next to her, and I was just like, no one would ever do. I don't care if you live in New York or whatever, like, if you're having like a conversation that serious, I'm probably like not trying to have some stranger sit next to me or whatever. So like that felt a little like, I don't know, romantic comedy-ish or something, right?
No, yeah, I've lived in New York, and I can guarantee you that every young attractive girl I sat next to on a bench was like, please get away from me.
Yeah.
Like they're not into it. Yeah, I wouldn't even think of trying to sit next to some girl sitting there alone. I'm not gonna bother them.
Yeah.
I don't even want to sit next to them on the subway.
Yeah.
They don't want to be approached.
And like,
so
you just clearly had a serious conversation. Like, doesn't she like start crying after the phone call ends or something like that? Like, or something
in the comic?
No, maybe I'm getting that mixed up or whatever. But like, I don't know. It didn't sound like, if I'm sitting next to a stranger, even if I'm attracted to them, on a bench, and they seem really, really distraught, like, I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't like tap him on the shoulder and be like, "Hey, is there anything wrong? Anything I can do for you, stranger? Please don't mace me." Like,
you seem vulnerable. Are you gonna walk alone to your car later?
Yeah. I mean, and you know, I guess she's supposed to be from like a small town or something, so you could play that up to her naivety. But like, yeah, that part I didn't really buy. But you know, I feel like some of the Starlight stuff was a little too hard on the head, but I did like her as a character more. I like that.
Like, she's like a poor man's Kate Mara, right?
Yeah. She actually looks. I don't think I've actually. The same thing. Like, the actress looks kind of familiar, but I can't pull out of my head if I've ever actually seen her in anything. But yeah, very Kate Mara-ish though. That's the nail on the head. What else?
I'm just upset that we didn't see the love sausage make an appearance. You know what I mean?
You never know, man. Season 2, they can
go to Russia.
Yeah,
you know?
stuff their
have
shorts.
Some borscht. You know.
Yeah.
But no Terror the dog.
Yeah, that was. Did they even have
what
any
a choice.
dog in it at all?
No, and they joked. They like in the first episode. He goes, "Do you have a dog?" And he goes, "No." And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, I see what you did there.
My favorite character.
Yeah, the dog was pretty
in the
dope.
comics.
I mean,
yeah, he's basically a dog that will sexually assault any other living thing on command. And they saw fit to just remove him from the show.
Yeah, I wonder how that went about, or what. I wonder how many drafts the dog was in before they decided to like, no, that's not gonna pull well with, 17 or 18 to 25-year-olds or something like that.
He's like a bulldog. He's like a little short, fat, little English bulldog named Terror.
And he's always got a smile on his face.
And sure does. Because he'll just get on after it, from squirrels to other dogs, you name it.
Weirdly, that he seemed more like Brad Pitt's dog in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Like a connecting it to a previous review or whatever, but just being able to like go on command and being a total badass and everything like that.
Yeah, it's a different kind of performing, but
yeah, I mean it's a more ripping out people's crotches instead of screwing somebody's poodle or whatever in the park to piss them off.
Exactly.
Yeah, there was a lot of good gags with him. Yeah, they had a lot of good little visual things there and everything like that.
Devastating.
Devastating.
Devastating. Well, what else you got? You got anything else? I mean, I don't know. I don't even know if I'd watch the second season.
I mean,
I
was definitely, I'd be glad for like a little reprieve from it, but I would go back. I honestly, I was kind of like forgetting it was like after they spoilers, take out Elizabeth Shue. I was kind of surprised, and it felt kind of final. You know what I mean? You kind of like took out the big bad, and I was like, oh yeah, they're just gonna kill Homelander and wrap this all up. And then it's like, oh yeah, wait, there's got to be season 2, and but yeah, I mean, I'll probably give it a try. Like I when we first started watching this, like I probably wouldn't have watched it as quickly had you not told me, basically said, hey, let's do a review on this, and I got more into it than I was expecting, so I'll probably have the same response to the next season. Like, not saying it's a perfect show, but it's I still like it. I think the comic is good, and they're basically different beasts.
They're just, that's why I don't even, it's hard to even equate them. Like they're very different.
Yeah.
They're you know what I mean? It's like a Hans Christian Andersen version of Snow White and Disney's version of Snow White. You know what I mean? Or like The Little Mermaid.
Right.
You pick.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, they're kind of the same story. Yeah, nah.
Yeah, that's a good point. The comic has a lot more of like, the stepsisters getting their toes chopped off and all the other.
Right. Exactly. You know what I mean?
The stuff you don't want to put in. Well, the show's a hit for Amazon, and I can understand why they did some of the things they did if they were trying to like make a hit show or something. So I think it's good, but it's like, we'll have to see how it goes. And I could also see myself. I'm definitely like that bastard that always kind of hops off shows like on season 2 or something like that. So if they don't change up the formula a little bit or something like that, I could definitely see myself petering out on it. I'm pretty ready to peter out on superhero stuff at the moment. So if it gives me any excuse, I'll probably drop it.
Well, there you go. You excited about what else we got? Did you see any D23? Did you see any Star Wars? Any?
I mean, I saw that screen grab of the double lightsabers on my Facebook feed today.
Well, there you go. The greatest troll of all time. If that's in the movies, well, we'll talk about it. In December? I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, are you how out? Like, it feels like it's like at this point, like just get it over with. Like,
no, just get it over with.
Yeah.
Let's just finish it. How are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? How are you gonna ruin this? Just do it, so that we can burn the forest down.
Yeah.
Let the healing rains of time fall down and regrow. You know what I mean? This damn forest. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm just like, this whole trilogy has just been a suck.
Well, I mean, it probably can't get any worse, right? I mean,
no, I don't think it can get any worse. That's why I'm like, how are we going to think was a smart idea and correct?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Well, it's like doing double duty. What
did the brain trust come up with?
It's like you have to retcon probably like 5 big things from the previous movie, as well as wrap up all of the other plots from the. Like, I am very curious if the first 20 minutes of the third one's going to be like, and all the shit that happened in the second one, just disregard it. Just disregard it. Like
it was all a dream.
Rey is actually, like Skywalker blood or whatever. All the things that they tried to subvert in the last one. I feel like they're going to be like, never mind. Or are you excited about The Mandalorian at all, or Boba Fett, or Ewan McGregor. Like I don't care about any of these things, but I'm trying to figure. Like, are you just like done with Star Wars, or is there any hope?
No, I'm just so beaten down by it. I'm just, it's just, here's, I'm trying to think. Here's a good, like, measuring stick to use. Has Gina Carano been in anything good?
No, definitely not.
Well, there you go. So if her streak, if history is any guide, then when they were like, oh, Gina Carano's going to be in, I go, oh god damn it. I was like, this is what they're doing?
The death knell.
Oh, and I hope it's great.
Wait,
honestly,
is she in The Mandalorian, or is she in,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
She's one of like the main characters.
That's so weird. It's so weird.
So
it boggles my mind that
you could have anyone.
Yeah. I mean,
go out and find some Australian theater actress,
right,
or go down into London and pick one out. It doesn't matter, but you go Gina Carano. And I love Gina Carano. Bring her out. Love her. But damn. What are we going to see her just like hip tossing people? I mean, in Deadpool and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, she's just such a thing. Just, I don't know. It's just one of those like, it's just one of those little signs, you know what I mean? It's like, listen, it's not all about Gina Carano. I'm not saying that, but it's just like one of those little, like, is this going to be Fast and Furious and Star Wars? Like, what is this going to be?
Assume,
you know what I mean? Like, that's...
Okay, if you're casting Gina Carano, Gina Carano, like, is she going to be like a female Boba Fett, like, kind of like, you're mostly there to be intimidating, but like, because she's not a great actress, right? Like, she's not a
well, I mean,
I've only seen her, like, she was okay, like, every role I've seen her in is like to be the badass, but
just stand in a corner,
anything,
and
right?
then have a fight with someone, at some point. No, exactly, and she is, she probably goes and eats a lot of lunches out with Olivia Munn. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Where Olivia Munn. Have you ever seen any? Has she ever been in anything good other than like The Newsroom that was like critically acclaimed?
I mean, she's been in.
Name a good Olivia Munn movie. Mordecai.
Oh man.
X-Men Apocalypse.
Oh man.
The
Predator, that masterpiece.
No, just name a good Olivia Munn movie. I'll be here all day.
Hold on, let me pull up.
Let us know in the comments.
Send
me a good Olivia Munn.
Best of the show still count?
Best of show? Best of
the thing that she had when she was on G4. Like, I'm trying to remember.
Oh, Attack of the Show.
Attack of the Show. Yeah. She's like good in bad movies. I don't think she's actively bad, but
terrible.
She's not great, but she's okay. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of bullshit, but
I forgot she was in Ocean's 8, that classic.
Never seen
and she played herself.
She was in the Slammin' Salmon.
She was in the Lego Ninjago movie.
She was in Greek. She was in
Office
Date Night,
Christmas Party.
Iron Man 2. I'm sure that was a great cameo. Okay, this is a lot of shit. Magic Mike.
I forgot about Magic Mike.
Oh my god, I've not seen
The Baby Makers. That was a good one.
Yeah. Well, once again, like, I think she gives it well enough with what she's given, which is not a lot. But yeah, these are some shitty movies. I'm really having a hard time defending this. Anyways, I don't have any hatred for Olivia Munn, but yeah, these are not great movies.
Yeah,
but that's
so. I just at least it's not her.
Wait, how did we get on this? So Olivia Munn and Gina Carano.
Neither Gina Carano or Olivia Munn have ever been in anything good.
Yeah, I mean, Gina Carano at least can like fight and everything
true.
Like that. Like,
that's true. I'll take a Gina Carano.
And I think I vaguely remember liking her in Haywire, but I barely remember that movie, and I don't.
Is that the movie where she was fighting Fassbender?
Yeah, and it's like Antonio Banderas is in it, and it's like it was one of them. What do you call them? Fucking Steven Soderbergh joints. One of the 12 movies he came out with last year or whatever.
And he didn't. Did he shoot that one on a cell phone?
Yeah, probably. He taped a cell phone to the camera so he could film it room style and 2 cameras at once. But yeah, Well, I assume, the cast for the whole thing seems pretty random. I'm always interested, even though it's like no longer shocking to see him in weird roles.
You like
Werner
Carl
Herzog.
Weathers?
No, Werner Herzog.
Herzog.
Herzog pops up in so many fucking random things. And he was saying, like, I read some article that he was like, yeah, I did this so I could film whatever weird documentary I was filming in, a freaking blue whale's anus or something. Like, he always like goes to far off corners of the world to film these strange little documentaries, and I love that he's using Star Wars money to finance them now. So
you have a Taika Waititi here, you've got a Carl Weathers there.
What is Carl Weathers?
You know what I mean?
Is Carl Weathers?
Carl Weathers is in there somehow.
Oh,
He's something. And then who else you got? You got Jon Favreau messing around with it.
Yeah, is he? I'm surprised he doesn't like cameo in the movies he's in more often, because he could kind of.
He could be.
I mean,
one of the Hutts.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I mean, he's a funny actor when he's on screen. I still think he's a better actor than he is director. He's an okay director, but I think he's an actor first.
I didn't see The Lion King or The Jungle Book, so I don't know. Yeah, let us know in the comments.
Yes, please.
Let
me know how it turns out. I've never seen that movie before.
20
years ago.
Well, are you gonna get Disney Plus anyway?
I was bitching about it, but honestly, I probably will.
I can't imagine you paying for Disney Plus.
I mean, I pay for all this other bullshit. Plus, they're going to do the $7 a month thing to get the whole universe on board from the get-go, and once they start jacking up the prices...
I forgot it was pretty cheap.
Yeah, but
a very uncharacteristic Disney move.
That's just to rope you in, man. Come on.
No, exactly, yeah. And then they're going to jack it up to...
It's going to be like $30.
If we're not paying $15 a month by, 2022...
Oh, yeah.
I'd be shocked.
At that point, it's just going to be, the world will be run by Disney, and guards with little Disney ears on them will come to your door and demand your belongings, or the monthly tax or something like that.
Kathleen Kennedy she kicks down your door and says, "Get 'em, boys!" and they run over and just beat the shit out of you as they ransack your house.
Please tell me she's smoking one of those, has the cigarette holder with the obnoxiously long Cruella de Vil, whatever.
She's more of a cigar lady, I bet.
I can see that. I can see that. I am very conflicted about the whole Disney thing. I'm not I'm not as into a lot of Disney properties as much as everyone else. So I don't know. I'm probably less into, it's cool in some respects, but the whole Akira, them gobbling up everything, is...
You're not excited about the Lizzie McGuire series?
Oh my god. Oh, hey man, she needs work. But what has she done since then?
She did The Haunting of Sharon Tate.
Ooh, man. I'm sure that was very classy and in good taste.
Yeah. Duff needs money, you know what I mean? Man, I don't know.
You remember when Hilary Duff and Hannah Montana were kind of neck and neck or whatever? They were...
I feel like Hilary Duff is much older.
Yeah,
than
I guess so.
Miley Cyrus, though, right?
I think, but weren't they blowing up around the same time?
I don't know.
I was too old then for that shit, so I don't know now. But yeah, I mean, what other? I'm also really only aside from old episodes of The Simpsons, which is half the reason why I would get it. And the Marvel TV shows, which are, mildly pique my interest, but also seem like a huge time investment. So aside from those two things, I don't really know, what other shows are they going to have? They got this Star Wars show, and...
They got the Obi-Wan show that's coming.
Right.
In years and years and years.
Right. Are they doing, a Pixar show, too? Do they have to,
Oh, man, I'm sure they're doing Clone Wars, they're doing Obi-Wan, Mandalorian.
Oh man,
it's it's
Mandalorian.
Who can...
Yeah, well, that's the thing is I feel like Star Wars especially kind of is do you think there's Star Wars fatigue, or do you think there's Or
there's bad Star Wars fatigue. I'm fatigued of Star Wars sucking.
So
if you could crank out good Star Wars for me all damn year round, and I'd be, here's my money. Here you go. Thanks again. Great to be here.
Right.
Thanks so much. Love it. Keep it coming. Yup.
So, like, what would be... Like, I hear a lot of people saying, like, hey, it would be cool to see, like, fuck all the Skywalker stuff and everything like that. Like, if you just did, really drill into doing, like, little stories set around the universe. Is that, like, what you think would help it? Or, like...
Yeah, no, it's fine. I mean, I think the, Knights of the Old Republic, you can still do Jedi stuff. You don't need them. You can do bounty hunters. You can do, Ewoks, for Christ's sakes. I have the Ewoks Adventures DVDs.
Oh, the
you know what I mean?
The specials with the...
No. Yeah, like the live action movies that they did back in the day, where it's like a little girl who's trapped on like Endor. I mean, listen, I'm not asking for a ton here. You know what I mean? Like, damn. If you gave me a Yoda show, I'd be like, all right, what was Yoda up to in Dago? You know what I mean? What was he up to? I'd watch it. I mean, it's just like.
Well, do you think the Obi-Wan show has any potential? Because Ewan McGregor, he was pretty good. I don't
just Yoda talking shit to me for an hour at a time. I'd be like, yeah, all right.
Yeah, sure. I'd be into.
What's Yoda gonna? How did Yoda survive? You know what I mean?
I mean, how fucking...
And what a horrible planet did he pick?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, why pick a
Talk
swamp?
about a shithole.
Do you think it should be just him, like, hanging around the swamp all day?
But why couldn't you have gone to, like, planet Hawaii?
Maybe to Yoda, that is planet... Like, what is his... What planet is he from? Like, is he, like, a fucking, does he come from, like a reptile planet where they like the swamp or something, or...
But did he seem to like it?
I don't know.
He's obviously suffering. He's stooping in a hole.
Oh, yeah. He's
got snakes crawling over him.
Yeah.
He's in a swamp. There's creatures in that swamp that eat astromech droids that are bigger than Yoda. So he's constantly fearing for his life. You know what I mean? It's treacherous terrain. There's haunted caves. There's vines and shit. There's just monsters everywhere. Like, this is the worst. Go find, like, a tropical paradise planet, Doc.
Oh, so that's what you want to see. You want to see, like, Yoda Goes Hawaiian or something like that?
Just kick it.
Kicking it back. Hanging 10.
You know?
Chill him!
Better than Dagobah.
I'd be into that.
Just Planet Jamaica. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, if you're going that, like, make it like a sitcom, just him and Jar Jar sharing an apartment together. And a tauntaun or something like that.
Like Spring Break Yoda, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah,
I'd be down.
Yeah, I'm sure the dude used to love to party before he got all monk-like or whatever.
He was a wild once, you know what I mean? So, well, there you go. I don't know what else we got. We got It coming out shortly. I thought it was coming out this previous weekend, and then realized that no, it's not. It's coming out this weekend?
The 7th, I think.
All right.
So
was that next weekend?
So weekend after this weekend, I think.
It's coming out in the future, unless you're listening to this
in the future,
September 8th
and beyond.
And beyond.
In which case, disregard this entire podcast. But everything we've said is lies. Yeah, that still felt. I mean, I guess that's pretty much when they released it last time. But remember when they released Halloween movies in October? I'm not.
Back in my day,
I'm not gonna get on that. So
remember My Bloody Valentine? When did that come out? Did that come out on Valentine's Day?
When was the last time they came out with the? Did they remake that recently or?
They made it a couple years ago.
Oh,
maybe they remade.
If they didn't put it out on Valentine's Day, then that's just pathetic. That just means that, like, you can't even come out with the crappy movie to release on Valentine. It's not like Valentine's Day is like that crowded of a market. Like, if you have counter programming to romantic comedies or whatever. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Stupider things have happened. I always remember, like, reindeer games coming out in, like, August way back in the day, or whenever you have, like, a thing that is clearly, like, pitched at some sort of specific holiday.
Seasonal offering.
Yeah, and it doesn't come out at the right time. It's just like, ooh, that is not a good sign.
Oh man. Well, what can you do? We'll do. Have you read it? I read it a year or two ago.
I read it when I was. I read 14.
It before okay. Well, so it's been a while.
But I mean, I still remember it.
At least you read it.
Yeah, I did read it, and it was always like one of my favorite books. So, and I think, last time we did one, like it's like as we were talking about it, I kind of got my memory going about it, and like.
Yeah, and we'll have you read the Wikipedia. It'll all come right back.
And
we're freshman year in high school again.
Yeah, and I'm curious, kind of like the last part, how, there's a big thing at the end that's really weird, not as gross as in the last one, but I'm curious if they're going to, do the turtle stuff, or if they're just totally gonna go off on their own.
I don't think so. I don't think they do the turtle. They didn't do the whole like weird orgy, right?
Yeah, that was like the big thing.
I feel like I would have remembered that.
Oh yeah, that.
And if we're ruining the book for you, we're sorry.
Yeah, don't worry. It really has surprisingly little consequence to anything for being.
Can you imagine Stephen King's editor reading that for the first time?
Yeah, that's like definitely gotta be at the height of your like. I almost wonder if it was like a troll, like if he was like, I'm gonna...
They'll never let me do this. How much money was he making other people for them to let him do that?
I mean, all the money.
All the money.
Like, yeah, because that was like right when it... That's like peak King. And then after that book comes out, he can like continue to do whatever he wants. Like, I feel like, that's his deal maker, his rainmaker or whatever.
Absolutely insane. Not surprised at all to see the movie didn't choose to do that.
Well, wasn't that the whole big deal when the True Detective guy was trying to make it for so long?
Oh, he wanted to. He
wanted to keep it in. He was pushing for it, and like no kid would audition for it. I mean, like
they what now?
No kid would audition for it because no parents would let their kids audition for it, pretty much, because that was just a.
I love the Hollywood parents were like, "Oh no, that's too disgusting."
Well, it's pretty. I don't know. I feel like it's like when you imagine the girl who got cast in Human Centipede, like calling up her mom and being like, "Mom, I got a part. What movie is it?"
I've got good news and I've got
yeah,
bad
yeah.
news.
It's like same sort of thing. Like, same thing, but like exponentially worse too. So,
imagine the worst thing George R.R. Martin's ever done to a character, and then just like multiply that by like 5. Yeah.
Well, I'll I guess give props to the True Detective guy for if he had a thing, he was trying to artistically commit to that, but it didn't seem like a hill worthy to die on for that. Like,
yeah, you don't want to die on that.
I'm like not. I would not lose the gig.
I'm king of the leave it the way it was. Do the book, blah blah blah. I'm the king of that, and man, even I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. It just like, and I kind of guess like if you try to squint your eyes real hard and try to imagine Stephen King's coke-addled brain and his BS explanation, I suppose you could pass it off. But
has he tried to explain it?
He did. Like he's basically like they were all trying to. It was a way to like. Cement their coming into adulthood together and all this other stuff.
Because they do that like scene where they hold hands and they like cut their palms and make a blood pact in the movie, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, the book's pact scene is a little bit different.
Yeah,
a little.
Yeah, it's that. There's many things in that book that really. When you're a kid, when you're like in middle school, like it's like, oh man, this is like a big ass book, and I'm all proud of myself for reading it, and it's like you discover a lot of things through Stephen King that way, and it's definitely stuff to talk about with the therapist later or something. Like I always remember, like I always had the hardest time getting past the first 100 pages of the book too, because like the opening scene where the dude gets murdered on the pier.
On the bridge or whatever, and they're like interviewing his friend or something.
Yeah, and they're like, he got stabbed in the dick 15 times and stabbed 40 times everywhere else, and then he broke 15, half of his ribs falling off the pier, and then he half drowned, and then the clown started eating him. It's like, that's just, all the stuff that made Stephen King great. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. The first one was good, and I hope that them having all the money in the world to work with now will make it a better product in the end, and not make them jump the shark or whatever.
Well, there you go. It's getting semi reviews. We'll go see it. We'll do our infamous, very popular What's a Difference series, and we'll be back. We'll be back for that one in a few weeks. But thank you guys so much for listening. As always, we appreciate it. Follow us on Twitter, Disorderly Media. Follow us on Facebook. Check out the disorderly.com for all your good stuff, and we appreciate it. Leave us some comments. Let us know what you think, and we'll talk to you later.
See ya.